And a lot of you guys are trying to pass your TEAS exam, but there are some steps that you guys are actually missing. Once you've decided the study resource that you're going to get and you actually get a hold of that resource, you need to make sure that before you even go into the content, that you take a practice exam. The practice exam is going to tell you where you stand. Some of y'all literally don't know which sections you are good at or bad at, and that is a problem. The sections that you are good at, you focus less on. The sections you are bad at is where a lot of your energy needs to go when it comes down to studying for the TEAS. You will never know what that section is unless you actually sit down and take a practice test. So you're going to sit down, take a practice test. That's going to let you know what you need to study and what you could just kind of breeze over a little bit. When you finish taking your practice exam, now you're going to go in on the content, which is going to be in your study resource, okay? You're going to make flashcards. You're going to do highlighting. You're going to do whatever you need to do to make sure that you're learning the information. Remember, the TEAS exam is going to test you on English, science, and math, okay? That's a lot of information. So make sure you plan accordingly, a good study schedule, because, yeah. Then once you finish your content review, you now have reviewed your English, reviewed your science, reviewed your math, right? You're going to take another practice exam. Because you've learned the information, because you've learned the content, because you've processed it, because you've retained it, now you should take a practice exam and your score should be higher than your original practice exam. And then lastly, you're going to review that exam, okay? I personally would get a separate blank empty notebook that you are going to write down every single question. What you got right, explain why you got it right. What you got wrong, you not only need to explain why you thought it was wrong, but you need to go ahead and answer it to get the correct answer. This is going to be a game changer for y'all, okay? This is what it looks like to be an active student, an active studier. You cannot just review something and just throw it into the dust, have a textbook and just throw it in. You have to actually be engaging with what you are studying. It is not enough just to buy a textbook. You need to be putting in that work. Practice test, review your practice test, go through every section, do the questions in every section. I'm telling you right now, if you do those things, you should be seeing improvements in your score. And then my last thing I'll say is my sister who took her TEAS exam, she did the practice test with the ATI TEAS study resource that's linked down there. And her practice score was 2 points lower than what she actually received on the ATI TEAS exam. Okay, so it is accurate. Don't play with it, y'all.